I saw when the clock struck 3 in the morning, and the weight of your roof seemed to collapse upon your weary shoulders. I was there, in the silence of that empty kitchen, watching the trembling of your hands as you clutched that unbalanced bill or that memory that won't stop hurting. You stared into nothingness and with a choked voice let out the most sincere outburst a heart can utter. I don't know what to do anymore. If you've made it this far, know that it wasn't an algorithm or chance that brought you to the Divine Love Channel, the voice of God. This encounter was marked in eternity, for your cry for help pierced the clouds and reached my throne like a fragrance of surrender. But what would you do if you discovered that this dead end of yours is, in fact, the garden where I begin to plant your greatest miracle? There is a secret hidden at the heart of your helplessness that the world has never told you, and I will reveal it to you on this journey. Just as I did with the people before the Red Sea, when Pharaoh's army roared behind and the waters seemed an insurmountable barrier, I am about to show you that my arm is not shortened. If you stay with me until the very last second of this message, I will give you the clear answer you have been searching for, and a specific phrase will be whispered to your heart, a key that will open doors you didn't even know existed. If this word of God is touching you now, comment below with your name, the country, state and city you are watching from, and the time so that I can feel your heart beating alongside mine. At this very moment, as my voice travels through your soul, let that cry that is stuck in your throat come out as an offering of love. Write in the comments with all your faith, Lord my God, I am here. I subscribed because I love you and want to hear you. Know that each letter typed is a step you take out of your despair and into my rest. Stay until the end, my daughter, because I have a commitment to your hope. At the end of this message, I will release a prophetic blessing upon your life that only those who persevere in listening will be able to receive. Do not leave my side. For what I have to tell you next will change the way you see this weariness that consumes you today. You have been trying to carry the world on your shoulders, trying to solve with your own hands what only my sovereignty can govern. I see the weariness in your eyes when you look in the mirror and no longer recognize the strong woman you used to be. This silence that frightens you is not my abandonment, but my workspace. That night when you cried into your pillow so that no one would hear, I was collecting each of your tears. For it is written in Psalm 46, verse 10, "Be still, and know that I am God." This scene of you running from one place to another, trying to fix broken relationships or plug financial holes with your own effort, has only distanced you from the only source of real solutions. Imagine yourself now letting go of those ropes that cut your hands. Feel the relief of leaving the burden on the floor of this room where you are now. I am here to take control, but you need to give me the space that your pride or your fear still occupy. If you feel that this is the moment to release the weight, leave your sign of gratitude here, for something new is about to be revealed. But I have not yet shown you everything that my silence is building. What are you surrendering to me at this very moment of pain? Write here in the comments the word that seals the beginning of your surrender. I surrender. There is still a mystery about your strength that you need to discover, something that only those who exhaust their own resources can see. I saw the exact moment you relaxed your shoulders and let out a sigh that seemed to carry the weight of the world. I was there when you looked at your hands, those hands that had worked so hard, cared so much, rode against the tide so much, and realized they no longer had the strength to hold the reins of this situation. That trembling you feel isn't just physical exhaustion, it's the limit of your soul screaming that the burden has become too heavy for one creature to carry alone. You sat in that chair in the corner of the room, and the silence around you became so dense that it seemed as if the sky itself were made of bronze, impenetrable, as if your words didn't reach beyond the ceiling. Perhaps you came to this video seeking a miracle, but what I want to give you first is something the world cannot offer, the right not to have all the answers. You clicked on this message because the title, "I Don't Know What to Do Anymore," is a true summary of your last night. But what would you do if you discovered that this dead end of yours is, in fact, the garden where I begin to plant your greatest miracle? There is a secret hidden at the center of your powerlessness that the world has never told you, and I will reveal it to you on this cinematic and spiritual journey. Just as I did with the people before the Red Sea, when Pharaoh's army roared behind, and the waters seemed an insurmountable barrier, I am about to show you that my arm is not shortened. If you stay with me until the last second of this message, I will give you the clear answer you have been searching for, and a specific phrase will be whispered to your heart, a key that will open doors you didn't even know existed. I will guide you on a path of rest where you will learn that your end is my beginning. If this word of God is touching your heart right now, comment below with your name, the country, state, and city you are watching from, and what time it is there so that I can feel your heart beating alongside mine. Right now, as my voice travels through your soul, let that cry that's stuck in your throat come out as an offering of love. Write in the comments with all your faith, Lord my God, I am here. I signed up because I love you and want to hear you. Know that each letter typed is a step you take out of your despair and into my rest. Stay until the end, my daughter, because I have a commitment to your hope. At the end of this message, I will release a prophetic blessing upon your life that only those who persevere in listening will be able to receive. Don't leave my side, because what I have to tell you next will change the way you see this weariness that consumes you today. For it is written in Psalm 46, verse 10, "Be still and know that I am God." This scene of you running from one place to another, trying to fix broken relationships or plug financial holes with your own effort, has only distanced you from the only source of real solutions. Imagine yourself now letting go of those ropes that cut your hands. Feel the relief of leaving the burden on the floor of this room where you are now. I am here to take control, but you need to give me the space that your pride or your fear still occupy. But I haven't yet shown you everything that my silence is building in your desert. What are you surrendering to me at this very moment of pain? Write in the comments the word that seals the beginning of your surrender. I surrender. There is still a mystery about your strength that you need to discover, something that only those who exhaust their own resources can see. And what I'm about to tell you will untie the knot that tightens your chest. I see the value in every gesture of yours, including the one that arises when you have nothing left to offer but your absolute sincerity. When you say you don't know what else to do, your soul opens itself to a kind of worship the world doesn't understand. The worship of the desert. And it is in this soil, where your tears have watered the dry sand, that I now invite you to plant something that will flourish in eternity. If it is possible for you, only if your heart feels this gentle and profound calling, transform your gratitude into a living seed of love through this channel. Consider my immense love and the sacrifice of my son Jesus, and contribute using the link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. There you will find the sacred place where your offering of love can be deposited and consecrated before the Creator of all things. You can contribute any amount your heart desires. If you want a different amount, just type in the desired amount. And always remember, only what fits peacefully in your heart. I receive it with all my love. It doesn't matter the material value. What matters is the intention and the heart with which you give, because what is little for you can be much for the one who receives. Whoever contributes any amount with a sincere heart, don't forget to leave your name and city along with your contribution, because on the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on our channel and Divine Love, The Voice of God, your name will be remembered, mentioned in gratitude, and covered with divine blessings released in prayer. For it is written in 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 7, "Each one should give what he has decided in his heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver." Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, your Lord, and I will not fail to bear fruit. I see into the secret of your innermost being and reward in the sight of all. Remain with me until the end of this message on this prophetic journey, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice, in a way that will bring the relief you have so long sought. Trust in what I will do in your life from this moment of surrender and faith. I am with you. If you feel that your seed today is an act of trust, what area of your life do you surrender on my altar now? Write in the comments the word that seals your seed. Bear fruit. But what I have to reveal to you about your tomorrow is not yet finished, and what will come now will calm the storm that rages in your mind. When the lights in your house go out and the noise of the world finally silences, what remains is only you and that weariness that seems to have seeped into your bones. I saw when you arrived today The sound of the key turning in the lock sounded like a lament, and that heavy sigh you let out even before taking off your shoes echoed throughout the kingdom. You have been trying to be the pillar that sustains everyone, the strong woman who does not bend, the safe haven of a family that often forgets that you also need shelter. But the truth, my daughter, is that your human strength is like dust blown by the wind. It dissipates when the storm lasts too long. And I want to tell you that there is no sin in feeling like dust. I know the feeling of your damp pillow and the weight of that silence in the kitchen where you stare into the void, trying to find a way out that your eyes cannot reach. You look in the mirror and barely recognize the woman who used to smile with her eyes. Today, what you see is someone who survives, but has forgotten what it is to live. This emotional exhaustion is not a sign that I have abandoned you, but the exact point where your humanity ends so that my divinity begins. You tried to carry the burden of debts, relationship crises, and uncertainties about tomorrow with your own hands, but your hands are too small to hold the universe. For it is written in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Do you understand the mystery of these words that I whisper now? My power does not need your perfection or your iron armor. It only needs your crack, your honest weariness, the moment when you admit that you can no longer take another step alone. It is on your kitchen floor in the cold of that dawn when you felt the sky like bronze that I am molding something new. You see the end. I see the foundation. You see the dust. I see the clay, ready for my potter's hands. Do not blame yourself for not having anything more to give. I did not call you to be a problem-solving machine. I called you to be my daughter. When you take your hands off the helm and allow the boat to drift for a moment, that is when I take command to lead you to waters you would never find alone. This, not knowing what to do, is your greatest prayer, for it is the only one without pride, only surrender. And now that your dust has found my presence, something profound is about to change in the structure of your pain. But there is still a revelation about what I am preparing in the pages you cannot yet read. Tell me, in the depths of this stillness that now envelops you, what hurts most when you realize your strength is gone? Write here in the comments the word that seals your new strength in him, rebirth. Stay with me, for what I will give you next is the map for the early mornings, where solitude is usually your only company. My daughter, in the silence that follows your weariness, I know that your nights have been filled with questions that find no echo. You ask me for a sign, a compass for this path that has become murky and full of thorns beneath your feet. Therefore, like a father who doesn't leave his child groping in the dark, I have prepared something to be your constant companion, a remedy for the soul that feels lost in its own thoughts and can no longer find a way out. If your heart desires to go deeper with me now, I have left you a gift in the form of a journey, which I wrote with much love and care for all my beloved daughters and sons. The digital book called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was prepared to accompany you day after day in silence and intimacy, being that voice that awakens you and calms you before sleep arrives. Access is also available via the link in this video's description and in the pinned comment. And if this step is not possible for you today, do not condemn yourself or let guilt touch your soul. Remain with me here because I will also sustain you with every word of this message until the very last second, and so that your heart may rest and not be troubled by the worries of this world. After you register, access will arrive in the email you provided with all the correct instructions, step by step, so that you can begin this new time of clarity by my side. For it is written in the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 21. Your ears will hear a word behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it," when you turn to the right or when you turn to the left. This devotional is my whisper, so that you will never again have to walk without knowing where to go or what to decide. Take a deep breath now, close your eyes for a moment, and feel the peace that begins to flood this space where you are. Your loneliness ends where my presence begins, and what I will reveal to you now about the secret kept in your silence will change the way you see your future. Do you feel my care now that the weight has lessened? Write in the comments the word that seals this moment of direction: guided. There's still a part of your story that I started writing while you were crying, and what I'm about to tell you about your weight will surprise you. You look at the clock on the wall, and it seems the hands move slower when the pain intensifies. I see you approach the window and rest your forehead against the cold glass, watching the cars pass by outside, each with its own life, each with its own destiny, while you feel stagnant, as if time has stopped only to punish you. But listen to what I tell you now. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is my office. You think that, because you don't hear the rumble of thunder or the sound of my voice thundering in your ears, I have crossed my arms. How innocent your weary soul is. While you cry because nothing seems to change, I am moving pieces on chessboards you don't even imagine exist. I am speaking to people you don't even know, preparing the hearts of those who will extend a hand to you, and silencing those who plotted your downfall in the secrecy of worldly meetings. The secret I keep for those who know how to wait is not torture. It is protection. If I were to give you the answer the very second of your despair, you wouldn't have the strength to bear the weight of the blessing. A tree that grows too fast doesn't have roots deep enough to withstand the east wind. I am deepening you. I am causing your roots to seek the waters of my presence, and not just the dew of human comforts. Remember that seed you observed one day. For weeks, nothing was seen on the surface. The earth seemed dry, dead, indifferent to the effort of the one who planted it. But down there, in the darkness, in the place where no one sees, life was breaking through the shell. Life was gaining strength. For it is written in the book of the prophet Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak and it will not lie. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not delay. Do you understand what my spirit is telling you at this hour? The delay you feel is in truth the time of my seasoning. I am adjusting the details. I am guaranteeing that when the door opens, it will not be just a crack, but a triumphant entrance, where all will see that it was my hand that made it. You have been afraid that time will pass, and you will be left behind. But in my kingdom, the last is the first, and he who waits patiently inherits the promise with authority. I saw the trembling in your chin when you tried to hold back tears before your children today. I saw the moment you looked to the sky and asked, "How long?" That "how long" is the sound of your spiritual gestation. Do not give up now that the sun is about to break the horizon. What I am preparing for your table is not just today's bread. It is a banquet that your adversaries will be forced to watch from afar, recognizing that you are my chosen one. But there is still something about healing your oldest wounds that I need to address before the great revelation. If this secret I have just told you has brought a sigh of relief to your heart, why not send this light to someone who is also in the darkness of waiting? Share this message as an act of love and tell me, what would you do if you knew, with all the certainty in the world, that your answer has already come from the throne and is just a few steps from your door? Write here in the comments the word that seals your prophetic patience: I will wait. I have not yet finished rebuilding what the crises tried to break. What I will reveal to you now about the restoration of your house will break the chains of your past. You look at the scars that life has left on your soul and feel as if they are still open, throbbing with each new disappointment. I saw the weariness in your eyes today, when you looked in the mirror and saw the marks of sleepless nights, the weight of worries that are not only yours, but of all those you love and who, often, do not recognize your sacrifice. There is a kind of pain that doesn't bleed outwardly, but corrodes from within like the heavy silence in an empty kitchen after a family argument that no one won. You feel as if you are trying to glue the shards of a precious vase back together with trembling hands, but the pieces no longer seem to fit. The crises that have swept through your home, the harsh words that were thrown like stones, and the absences that hurt more than aggressive presences, all of this I have recorded in my book. But listen to what your Father tells you now. I'm not a God who merely puts bandages on dirty wounds. I'm the one who cleanses, who restores, and who brings forth new life where the world has decreed the end. You have been afraid that too much time has passed and that certain restorations are impossible, but for me the impossible is merely the scenario where I most enjoy working. That wound you hide from everyone, that disappointment with a child, with a spouse, or with a loss that still makes you sigh deeply in the middle of the afternoon, I am touching it now with my hands of light. Do not be alarmed if the healing process brings some tears. They are the dew that prepares the soil for the joy that will come in the morning. For it is written in Psalm 147 verse 3, He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. Feel the depth of this promise as my voice echoes in your room now. I'm not just observing your pain from afar. I'm dealing with every detail of it. I'm restoring your identity, returning the dignity that was stolen from you, and rebuilding the walls of your home that were torn down by discord. What the devourer tried to destroy in your family lineage, I am sealing with my blood and my protection. You will not be remembered for your pain, but for the miracle I will bring forth from it. Perhaps you wonder how this will happen, since the circumstances still seem the same. But remember, healing begins from the inside out. First, I restore your heart, giving you a peace that surpasses all understanding, and a clarity you have never had. When you change the way you see your pain loses its power over you, and it is at that moment that I begin to move the hearts of those around you. I am the God of second, third, and infinite chances. Do not give up on your family, do not give up on yourself, for I have not yet finished surprising you. Tell me now in the secret of your spirit, what is the wound you most desire me to touch today so that you may finally rest? Write here in the comments the word that seals your restoration. Healed. But I have not yet shown you all that I have prepared for your sustenance. What I will reveal to you now about the provision that descends from my throne will change your perspective on what is lack and what is abundance. I know that your bills are scattered on the table and that the sound of the calculator is like a hammer striking against your peace. I saw when you closed your eyes pressing your temples, trying to make the numbers make sense that they simply don't have on paper. There is a cold weight that rises in your chest when you realize that human resources have run out, and this, not knowing what to do, financially or materially, is one of the most bitter trials that I allow my children to go through. You look at your balance, you look at the needs of your home, and you feel that subtle tremor in your hands, an insecurity that whispers that the ground will disappear beneath your feet. But listen to my voice. Your sustenance has never depended on the economy of this world, but on my faithfulness that governs the universe. Many times you ask me for a ready-made miracle, but what I want to give you now is a divine strategy. I am the God who opens doors where there are only walls, but I am also the God who gives you the idea, the insight, the chance encounter that changes the course of your story. Remember that widow who was about to lose everything she had, including her children, to the creditors. She had nothing but a little oil in a jar, but it was from that small portion that I changed her reality. I didn't send gold from heaven. I sent direction through my prophet. For it is written in 2 Kings chapter 4 verse 2, Tell me what you have in your house. And she answered, Your servant has nothing in the house except a jar of oil. What you have in your hands today may seem little, almost insignificant compared to the size of your debt or your problem, but when you place that little under my command, multiplication happens in silence. I will give you mental clarity to manage what remains and open paths for the new to arrive in ways you never imagined. Do not fear scarcity, for it is only the stage where I demonstrate that I am your Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides. Feel that weight lifting from your shoulders now. That anguish that made you lose your appetite or sleep is being replaced by a silent confidence. I am breathing upon your affairs, upon your work, and upon your mind. Where there has been loss, I will bring restoration. Where there has been theft, I will make restitution of what is just in my eyes. You don't need all the money in the world. You only need my outstretched hand. It has never been closer to you than at this moment. Tell me now, as you feel your heart calming, what is the area of your material life that you most need me to govern today so that you may have peace? Write here in the comments the word that seals your confidence in my sustenance, provision. But there is still an ancient promise sealed even before you were born that I want to confirm to your spirit now, for what will come next is the final seal of our conversation. Before the first sunlight touched your face today, I was already there, watching over your restless sleep and counting each beat of your heart that seemed squeezed by an invisible hand. You have walked through this desert feeling that your past is a burden and your future is a fog. But I came here to remind you of something you forgot in the midst of the storm. The promise I made to you has no expiration date, and does not depend on your mood or your strength to be fulfilled. I saw you even before your hands were small and frail, before the world placed those labels of tired or exhausted upon you. You are my inheritance, and what I sealed in your life before the foundation of the world. No human weariness and no financial crisis can erase. You look at your hands and see them empty, but I see them marked by my purpose. There were moments on this journey when you thought your prayers were hitting the ceiling and bouncing back, as if heaven were too busy with the world's great tragedies to hear your low sob in the corner of your bed. But I tell you that my ear is inclined to the whisper of the surrendered soul. You were not forgotten in the desert. You were taken there so that you could hear my voice without the interference of the voices that demand what you cannot give. For it is written in the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 49, verses 15 and 16, "Can a woman forget her nursing child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Yes, they may forget, yet I will not forget you. Behold, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands." Do you understand the power of this? Your name isn't written on paper that time tears, nor in sand that the wind carries away. Your name is engraved in my very essence. Every time you say you don't know what to do anymore, I look at my hands and see your name there, reminding me that your help is already on its way. That feeling of abandonment you experience when the house is silent or when the phone doesn't ring with the news you're waiting for is merely an optical illusion of a weary soul. I am moving the invisible so that the visible may manifest in your life. You are the apple of my eye, and no one touches what I have chosen to shine. Receive this confirmation now as an embrace that crosses the screen and touches the center of your pain. What I began in you I will finish, and the final work will be so beautiful that the scars that shame you today will be seen as the medals of your victory. Before we move on to the final moment of our conversation, I want you to look inside yourself now. What changes in your heart when you realize that the Creator of the universe engraved your name on His own hands? Write in the comments the word that seals your eternal identity in Him, engraved. Now pay close attention, because I have saved the best for this final moment, something that will seal your peace once and for all. My beloved daughter, we have arrived at this sacred moment where silence and revelation meet to heal what remains of your anguish. You began this journey saying you no longer knew what to do, and now I feel your heart beating at a different rhythm, calmer, more surrendered. I saw every minute you dedicated to listening to my voice, and know that every second of attention you gave me was a deposit of new life in your spirit. The weight you felt on your shoulders when this video began no longer belongs to you. I took it upon myself so that you may walk lightly, with your head held high, knowing you are cared for by the owner of gold and silver, by the Lord of hosts who has never lost a single battle. The answer you sought so much, the path that seemed closed and the light that seemed to have gone out, all of this is being restored now. You no longer need to fight with your own hands, for I am taking up your cause. That phrase I promised to whisper to you, the key I mentioned at the beginning of this meeting that would change your perspective, I now give it to you to keep as a treasure in your heart and declare whenever fear tries to return. The key to crossing any dead end and overcoming any weariness is understanding that your strength does not come from you, but from the inexhaustible source that dwells within you. The prophetic phrase for your life today is, "I can do all things through Him who strengthens me." Now write this phrase in the comments with all the authority of your faith. I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. By typing these words, you are sealing a pact of dependence and victory with me. Let the world see that you are no longer alone and that your hope has been renewed. This is just the beginning of a new conversation. I still have profound mysteries to reveal to you and paths of tranquil waters to lead you. If you feel that your soul still thirsts to hear my voice, continue navigating through the messages I have prepared for you on this channel, for in each one there is a new piece of my love waiting for you. Do not stray from my presence, for what I will show you next on other journeys will be even more revealing for your destiny. I am your strength in the void. I am your yes when the world says no. Rest now, for I have already taken care of your tomorrow.